Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Workplace Reality Podcast by Kenes Consult International, your number one recruitment, manpower supply, and management company. We are located in the city of Port Harcourt, but our services cut across Nigeria and globally. The essence of this program is to talk about the activities that goes on within the workspace, pre-employment and of course post-employment, and within the entire workspace. Today we'll be talking about why qualified candidates or assumed qualified candidates are not getting employed. There is a narrative that goes on, or there's something that a lot of people say, job no dey Naija. There's a lot of people work and live in Nigeria with the perception that there's no job in the economy or in the country. But we are asking, why are qualified candidates, there are a lot of job seekers, why are they not getting employed? And with me is Mr. Victor Igwe, and this is Miss Beloved. She's beautiful and her name is Beloved, just as her face says it. So, Mr. Victor, why do you think that qualified candidates are not getting employed?
For me, I feel one of the reasons is that who know who can be in Nigeria. Most people are qualified, but because they don't have connections, they don't get the job. Some who have studied very well in the school, of course, does not have somebody in Aso Rock, does not have somebody in government house that can help him influence his decisions. Most times, you don't even see when NNPC is recruiting. You don't see when Central Park is recruiting. But there are people that have this qualification, they've gone to school over time because they don't have somebody, not a politician, that can help. They can help them get those jobs.
I don't see that as a limitation. Yes, that would be a limitation, but this only happen within the 1% of the 1%, right? It's not everybody that have people there on the like politicians or people up there. But can this be a general limitation? Have you job hunted before, Beloved? Have you looked for job before? Yes. Even when you were qualified and then you were not getting the job.
Yes, to me, I think part of the reason is poor CV positioning. Yes, poor CV positioning, because I could remember the period I wrote job hunting. The CV I was using then was not positioned properly. So I met some people that were revamping CV, and they revamped my CV, and after then started getting jobs. And I think poor CV.
Okay, poor CV, but personally, your opinion is very valid, which is true, just like Mr. Iwe has said, 1% of the 1%. But from my own point of view, I still feel like, I'm sorry, this is a workplace reality podcast, so we have to be as realistic as it is, as realistic. We are standing in the position of job seekers or people that want to switch careers. So people feel like they are more qualified for the job, or some they are saying there is no job at all. But one of the challenges that I've noticed within the Nigerian youth, because unemployment is basically affecting 90% of unemployment is targeted towards the youth. So I'm using the Nigerian youth. I feel like one of the challenges is impatience. I'm sorry, I might be dragged by for this, but impatience, ignorance has to do with the CV revamp that you have said. Then impatience, people reject offers and they say it's because of unemployment. Do you know it's possible? Yes. You might get an offer now, you reject it, and you stay unemployed, and you tell somebody that there's no job in Nigeria. So why do people reject offer?
And most time, because of salary expectations, like you said, most Nigerians are not patient. Most Nigerian youth and you don't want to make it all at once. So when you give a young graduate a rule and say, okay, you're going to get 150,000, so that patient will be 300,000. Because of that, we don't want to take that offer.
And he prefers sitting in the house.
That's yes, I'm looking for more. So salary expectation is one thing that some people have very big salary expectations, and but when you bring up the job, the way up to do that. Sometimes most companies will not want to align with the salary expectation at that time because they want to test, they want to know that this person is capable. So I feel that within patience is talked about, the salary expectation is one of the ways that Nigerian youths are no patient.
Yeah, for the ignorance aspect, which is a poor positioning, career positioning, that's the CV revamp. And this is to also let you know that at Kenes Consult International, we also do professional CV upgrade. So if you feel like this is your challenge, this is your situation, you can reach out to our helpline. It will be showing on the screen, and or send us an email for your CV upgrade. One of the major challenges, the love has said, which I totally agree with you, is career positioning. Career positioning is not, I feel like it's not also limited to just CV rebranding. A lot of people think that your CV is just what sells you. There are some persons that while your CV is selling you, especially on top management level, they'll go and do a background check.
Social media.
Your social media, what you post, and career history. Why did you leave your previous job? All this has to do with career positioning, but a lot of persons have limited career positioning to just your CV. There are a lot of tools that you can use to, work on your CVs and all that. But the checks test your personality, your social media, your verification. They will track you to the 21st century company now track you to all the places that you have worked previously. So this has to do with why did you leave your previous place. So it has to do with character, a judge of character, and all that. This career positioning is so vast, right? So if you need a career consultation, also visit the KNS office or call the number on the screen. Now, another way that I feel, which is a major challenge, is skill gap.
Exactly.
Skill gap. A lot of people has expectations that they are not prepared for. Do you agree with me?
Yes.
Why do you think so?
Because recently, for research, we see that many graduates don't have soft skills. The graduates just have their certificates, but actually I would say they don't have the certificate. So when you are going to school, you have certificate and a certificate. There are some workplace ethics that you need to learn. There are some soft skills you have to learn. There are some courses that you have to do just to improve yourself. So most times, most of these qualified candidates, they have these certificates, their degrees. They don't have these soft skills that can make them adapt and work in the workplace.
Even in the workplace, I feel like there are some specific skill. Like, we don't compromise on those skills that you need to have as a graduate to help you get at least your first job. Do you understand? Critical thinking, probably seeing the thing is saying, but do you know that this skill that you just mentioned, anyway, a lot of people has abused it. Do you not agree with me? Some people say I can think well. I have to. How do you now identify this? Let's use this critical thinking, problem solving. How do you appraise yourself or assess yourself and say, okay, I have this skill? You know, it's a limitation. I don't know if you understand my question. If I want to put critical thinking on my CV, problem solving as a skill that I have, at what point do I appraise myself or assess myself and say, okay, I think I have the skill of critical thinking? Is there like somebody can? How do you? Okay, let's say for example now, computer literacy. Let's say I'm very good in MS Word and I want to type. If I type fast, I can say, okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm very good in MS Word. I can type fast, I can understand document presentation, arrangement, display, and all that. But okay, I'm a computer literate when it has to do limited to MS Word. How do you rate yourself and say, okay, I have the skill of critical thinking?
when you are faced with a business problem and you try to solve that problem, that's where you can think critically, because most times what business and workplace problems can come, but when you take your time to analyze and approve our solutions, that's where you can say you have critical thinking.
Yeah, skill gap is there any other skill that skill gap is something that I feel like is also a very major limitation when it has to do with employment. And at Kenneth Consult International, we also do training from basic level computer literacy to career specific training. We also do it at Kenneth Consult International. You can send us a message, send us an email, also contact us through our phone number that will be displaying on the screen. We can help you prep you to help you get your dream job. And most importantly, what are the expectations of the recruiter? Let's say, beloved, you have job hunting and you have an expectation to work for, let's say, any of the IOCs as a job seekers. I feel like when you identify the company that is it possible to identify a company that you want to work and work towards getting employed by that company? Is it possible?
Yes.
So how do I prep myself?
Okay, if you've chosen a particular company that you want to work with, I think the best thing you do is to go online and study about the company, know what they do, and the year they started their business, and so on and so forth. And by doing that, you know what you really want. Okay? And what you are to give. Okay, John.
Okay, I totally agree with you. You can understudy, you can do a corporate tracking, know when a company is recruiting, know when they are done recruiting, know the roles. If you do it this consecutive for like 6 months, you can be able to track them and get a chance of employment. So basically, we've analyzed 4 limitations why qualified candidates are not getting employed. The first one, we said access, man no man, which way noted. The second one, we said beloved said limitations, career positionings, which is CV revamps. But we discussed and analyzed that career positioning is not just limited to CV revamp, right? And if you want a broader conversation, you can call the number on the screen. And then the third one we talked about, what's the third one we talked about?
We'll have skills.
Yes, skill gap. Yeah, skill gap analysis. Skill gap has been a major limitation on why people are not getting jobs. And the fourth one, do we discuss the fourth one? I think the fourth one, did we discuss any fourth one?
After shoot up we just sent analyze
the fourth. Okay. Now, at the fourth one that I want to add, I feel like people are ignorant of their choice of niche or career. You see, we are a recruitment firm, and every day we analyze CV. I'm privileged to work with the recruitment team, and you will notice that you see some persons, they are 40 years old. They graduated 13 years ago. After graduation, they worked in the bank for 2 years. They left there. They worked in another company for 1 year. Let's say they work in an hotel, which is hospitality, for 1 year. The following year, they worked in a lab. Like before you know, years has gone. There's no specific niche. You cannot say, okay, this is what I want. Those days when we were small, our parents would ask us, what do you want to become? I was asked, and those days we used to say we want to be a lawyer. On the long run, I know maybe you choose, which one did you say yourself? Doctor. Which one is it?
Banking, and that would be like.
Yes. Over time, I choose banking. I went to study banking and finance, but today, we are all victims. Yes, we are all victims. But over time, immediately after, few years after graduation, we had clarity. We knew what we wanted to do. If you want to do in the finance, you want to be focused in the finance, you learn skills. let's say you want to be an accountant. Immediately after graduation, you're running towards being chartered. You're working towards learning accounting software. You're working towards running data analysis courses. At least that one, you know that there's a direction. But you see someone is a chartered account, is an accountant, is doing into solar electrical installation, is into hospitality. So I feel like career clarity is a major challenge. And trust me, businesses don't want that. Business owners don't want that. Do you understand? So I feel understanding yourself is very important. In business, there's something called SWOT analysis. Your strengths, your weaknesses, opportunities, and strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and traits. Yes, I use it to analyze myself, especially when I was picking a career. My strength, I need to know something I'm very good at. You can use this to analyze yourself. If you're having a challenge with, understanding who you really are or what career choice you want to, it helps. Your SWOT analysis, business is a person, so you're a person. So you can use it to understand yourself. Your strengths, what am I good at? Am I good in problem solving? Am I good in what exactly in communication? Regardless of what you studied, you can understand your strengths, something that you're very good at. Now, what are your weaknesses? What are you not good at? What is it? What is that thing that you even know how to do, but then you get tired? What are your weaknesses? What can provoke you? What are your opportunities, your skills? You understand? When you understand your strengths, you dare to say, if I have this kid, you'll be an opportunity for me to get my dream job. Then your threats. Do you have anger issues? Can you
Threat it, customer.
Yes, are you not patient? Are you a so people they can steal, they can lie, they don't need any reason to lie. These are traits that can affect you in the workspace. So when you analyze yourself, you will know where exactly that you can work it. Do you understand? So I feel like career clarity is another. Do you agree with me?
Yes, there's 100%.
Why do you agree with me?
Because I know before you choose your niche, you must really know what you can really do, like you just explained. Because I know without you knowing what you can really offer to company, I don't think take you anywhere.
Exactly. But then Igwe, do you want to add anything?
In reaction to what you have said, you see a young writing as what's the difference. Most times, it's not the graduate's fault. Bills not good focus.
Now,
Bills sometimes too, and then sometimes.
I disagree with you.
Sometimes.
I disagree with you. Igwe, see, I disagree. No, that's the thing. You see that?
To do for a better option.
See, when you know where you're going to, distraction, little things don't distract you. Now, let me tell you, this is where bringing us back impatience. Okay, I stated impatience from the beginning. See, you can be working in a place that paying you 20 naira, and in the next 3 months, you've not put in effort, you've not learned anything, you've not learned new things, you've not even put in effort in that your job. You're already applying for jobs that they will pay you 25 naira. Go and check. I'm saying this: 90% of people that jump from one job to another is because it's about them. And if you check the salary difference, it's greed. I don't want to use the word greed. And that's why I said impatience. I don't want to use the word greed. You've not put in the effort in the place that you were just employing. But if you see another job of 25,000, you are sending your CV.
You don't want to upskill.
You don't want to learn. Yes. You don't want to build yourself. And in the process of jumping from one place to the other, they'll become empty. They are wasting time. They'll become empty. Even when they now get the job that will pay them in millions that they are looking for, they had nothing to offer. Because over the years, they have not focused to build experience.
And then end of stage of gone.
And they will end up job hunting for the rest of their life. Until God brings a miracle. I'm sorry I might be dragged by it for this, but that's the truth. Watch the career growth of people that have stayed, learned, consistent in a niche. And watch the person that is looking for bills are not money and you're jumping from one place to the other. Watch their growth. You cannot compare. Experience is everything. Having an experiential knowledge of a particular niche makes you sometimes invaluable during employment.
In relation to what you said now,
Yeah.
most times you see, most experience. My sister was saying one that has doctor wise that have 5 years experience. So where will he get this experience?
Okay.
Don't graduate of school. Is they taking 1 or 2 jobs to help themselves gain this experience? Most of them may be volunteering.
Now,
And-
let me. I know this question will come when you see people younger, but you see job expectation 5 years. Let me answer your question so that after this program, you will start answering it the right way. Now, the question you just asked, why young graduates said employers should be looking for 5 years experience. That's who we employ them that are just coming out. Now, this is a controversial question that has been popping on for young graduates, but I need to answer this, right? In different career conference, these questions are just be coming on. And by the way, we'll be having a career conference, a job fair coming up in September 2026 here in the city of Port Harcourt. Click on the link below to see more details about it. Now, back to your question, why employers are demanding for 5 years and the young graduates are just coming and is forcing them to go learn skills which might be affecting their education while they are still in school, right? Now, to answer that question, as a young graduate, why will you be applying for jobs that request for 5 years experience? Is it not because of his salary? I didn't know that training rules. Does training rules request for 5 years experience below?
No, they don't.
So why will you leave a training role to go and apply for the one that you see clearly that the job requirement is 35 years experience? Just tell me in one word, why?
Okay, ma, but why stating the 5 years of experience? They'll still put the age brackets.
Well, 25, 30 years.
35.
And we understand the Nigerian factor that before ASUU strike, before you get admitted and the JAM and the rest of them, and then you should that you are qualified for this role. You have the required everything they ask for. But does that experience ask?
You cannot, you see, no skill. You need to, if this is the only thing that you learned today in this podcast for our viewers, there is no skill, no certification surpasses experience.
I agree with you.
No skill surpass experiential knowledge. If you've worked, let's say as a recruiter for 5 years, and somebody that just came back from school and went to Oxford University to get certificate in HRM, you cannot compare the art piece. So 5 years, same. Job seekers should understand that the people writing this requirement, the companies requesting for these workers, they are not stupid. They know what they want. Now, let me answer your question, the age brackets before 30. In the Nigeria educational standard, by 20, you should be a graduate. My siblings, about 3 of them were graduates at 20.
But even before the Tinubu's government, there was frequent ASUU strike. Especially they admitted 28 and they will graduate in 24. So before I get admitted when it's 18 years, I graduated when it's 25. So how would you reconcile?
Now, okay, now I see where you're going to. See,
I cannot.
now let me tell you.
Most of them schooled abroad.
See,
Or some of them went to private university and now affected.
no. Now, let's not forget, we're talking about why qualified candidates are not getting employed.
Yes.
Right? Now, to answer your question, see, if you graduated on a normal standard by 15, you should enter university. By 20, you should be a graduate. Even now that they are pushing it to 16, 17. By 20, you should be a graduate. Mass, 22 years.
Outside the Nigerian factor.
Inclusive of the Nigerian factor. Because,
4 years is not 4 years in Nigeria now.
okay, let's say 4 years is 6 years.
Yeah.
That makes it 22.
Okay, then you agree with that. First of all, get admission. Some want to study medicine.
Now that is your factor. That is not Nigerian factor.
That is Nigerian factor.
For you want to enter school when you are supposed to enter, you cannot blame the government.
So it's sometimes it's like I blame the government because you see a person that has the qualified and as well got qualified the person passes the JAM, passes exam, passes STEM, but somebody is there to just screen the person out. Like Nigeria, like university. Let's say me and Dangote son now want to go for the same room. Like we school.
See, I don't know of others, too, but for me, I'm talking the way my parents, my mom of blessed memory, we have never, we entered school, we have never lobbied for you. In fact, in my house, I'm sorry, respect to Poly, nobody attends Poly in my house. I'm not undermining them. My mom, in fact, when we were small, my mom used to say that you will not pay anything for lobby. So you know that it is you. It's either you read or you don't read. I feel like it depends on home training. If people work with this mentality, I've worked in different places and there was no one that somebody connected me to. It was by God's grace and merit. Do you understand? Now, if you work with this mentality that, oh boy, nobody's coming to save you, I don't get anybody where will help me, nobody's coming to pay for me, you gain the admission. Let me tell you what happened when I was looking for admission I attended Rivers State University. And when I wrote JAMB, post UME, I had two options, banking and finance and education, something. When I wrote, my cutoff mark was 180 on the dot. In fact, I had given up because the cutoff mark for that department, banking and finance, was 180. So I got the cutoff mark for JAMB was 180. So my post UME, right, I got 41 and the cutoff mark for my department was 40. So I gave up. Do you know USC gave admission? My name was not there. I already gave up because I know agreement. But few weeks later, UST changed it. You know why? They said Rivers State University, not UST, sorry. They said that they noticed that they called it monkey face because we wrote online. They noticed that some persons impersonated. So they reduced the cutoff mark for that department and eradicated a lot of people that have been given admission previously. And that was how my name came out. On that note, I'm not a doctor. I don't know anybody in the department. I'm still telling you that to an extent, the education system is still genuine when you read.
No, but I'm not disputing about it's not genuine. I'm talking about when person reads, and just like you said, now what if it have not happened? What if they did the investment?
Okay, let's say bad as it bad.
And then you last
Okay, let's say bad as it bad.
3 years.
Okay, no, 2 years, 3 years right now is not Nigerian factor.
Yeah, I understand maybe your factor.
Yes, it will be your factor, so you don't have to put it on the employer. Okay, but don't say bad as it bad. 24 years you're out of school. 24 now, because normal is 20 years. Let's say bad as it bad plus Nigerian factor plus your factor 4 years. Is it not enough?
Partially.
Okay, let's say you left school 24. You went to NYSC 25. You don't have any issue. 25, you're done with NYSC. Can't you apply as graduate trainees? By 30, you have 5 years experience. By 30, you should be living your dream job. The reason is that people want to leave school and get their dream job immediately. People don't understand process, especially young graduates. And I don't blame a lot of them because the society is already influenced by there are a lot of expectations from young people. Pressure is peer pressure. That's what they are being called. There are a lot of expectations that if you are not careful, your financial expectation becomes so low. But when you understand process, you understand discipline. Within 30, you get that 5 years experience, and by 30, you should be a professional in any field. If you have career clarity, if you understand career positioning, if you understand, I'm trying to remember some of the things that we discussed about. So did I answer your question?
Yes, I know you. Yeah.
So when else you go out, and for those people say recruiters, companies are going for 5 years. There are other jobs that a young graduate can do and earn at least decently for yourself, and then you grow. So I think we have answered that question. Okay. Is there anything you want to add?
Ma, I want to ask the situation whereby some employers, they do reject candidates that are overqualified.
Alright.
Let me react to it.
Yes.
Most times they feel that the person will overcharge them. Like they will be able to pay the best. Let's say one tip accountant to go and they don't also want an ICAP, or you see someone that has ICAP and has done so much qualifications learning to receive, learning to his personality, the company feel like this person, his salary expectation will be very, very high.
I agree with you. But I agree with you. Another thing, if I want to react to what you said below, can I?
Yes.
Now, why they are thinking that they will reject them? Another limitation is saying every company don't just employ because you are available to work.
Okay.
Companies employ, they're looking to long-term longevity. Business is a going concern, right? Business grows. Every company wants people that they can employ, and those people will grow with them to a certain level. They might, if a chartered accountant is applying for a training role, they will not take you. I don't know if you understand. Now, even if the chartered accountant is not applying for a training role, person is applying for just an accountant role, they might not take you. Not because you're not qualified. They will feel like you're applying for this role, maybe because you are job hunting, you're desperate for a job. But the probability of you staying with them on the long run is not there.
So in that case, what should the person looking for the job, the overqualification, the person that has the overqualification, what will that person do?
Now, this is where clarity comes in. This is where career positioning comes in. Do you understand? The thing is that's why I said people don't understand themselves. People don't know how to position themselves. I don't think there's job for everybody. I know it as I know my name. Except you don't understand how to get the job. This is why there are career consultation. Kenneth does career consultation. There's job for everybody at every level. Except you don't understand process, except you're greedy, except you're ignorant, there's always job. You don't have any reason to be job hunting. You don't have any reason to be job hunting. If you want to understand what I'm saying, you can book for a career consultation or send us an email. On our email will be in the comment section. People don't understand. This is why people don't get job. They don't understand career clarity. They don't even understand themselves. Because how do you work in an organization where you don't even understand yourself? You don't even know what you're coming to bring to the organization. Because you need to bring something. You have to come with value. You have to present what you can offer. So if you don't understand, if you've not done a self assessment, understanding yourself brings about clarity. Understand your career needs. What do you need to grow? You will understand process. So it has to do with career clarity, career positioning, self-awareness. And that is why a lot of people say there is no job. That's why a lot of people give up in the country. I know that I'm not saying that the country is stable, but there's still possibility of growth in the country if you understand yourself.
Like from what you have said also.
Yeah.
I think most one of the reasons people don't get jobs too. Most people, I find people don't get jobs. Most that they don't know how to express the value that they have. You go for an interview and they ask you, what can you bring?
Confidence.
That's confidence in interview. And then most times your interviewer looks at your personality. They don't just look at your skill, they look at the ambition.
Exactly.
How can you communicate? They can smile at you, see if you can reciprocate the smile. They can give you they can even play around with you to see if you can work in a team. How you enter, how you leave the place, how you interact with people who are around that place. So most likely that because they don't have a way of expressing themselves or expressing their values very well. That's one of the reasons why.
And also to add to what you say, depending on what you are applying for, there are some roles that you have to be expressive. There are some roles that you have to be audacious. There are some roles that you have to be beautiful. Okay. That's why I said it just boils down to self-awareness, career clarity. If I say I want to be a customer service, I want to be a customer representative professional, I want to be so good, I want to build a career in client return, in customer service and all that, I will invest in my looks. I will invest in my speech. I will invest in my diction. If you understand career clarity, know what you really want to be. Because you need to assess yourself. Do you agree with me, Igwe? You need to assess yourself. If then you will not know where to work in. Identify skill gap. Know what you need to be, what you say you want to be. If I say I want to be a salesperson, I need to understand presentation. I need to work on my looks. I need to work on my dictions. But for an accountant or a CFO and all that, it depends on what you really want to be. I don't know if you understand. There are some people that they are introverts. Do you mean that introverts cannot get employed? If you want to limit it to just this narrative, you just said that some people, they don't know how to express themselves, which I agree with you. But there are some people that are timid, they are introverts, but there's still job for them. Do you understand?
Yes.
Do you agree with me?
I agree.
So it depends on understanding who you are and what you want to be. That being said, I think we've come to a close of this section. I hope you learned. If you have anything to add on what we just discussed, please comment. You can state it in the comment section. And if you have any topic you want us to talk on our next episode, please, you can state it in the comment section. Share to your friends, subscribe, and put on your notification so that when the next episode drops, you'll be the first to be notified. Till we see you on our next episode on Workplace Reality Podcast by Kenneth Consult International. Bye.
Bye-bye.